I think this game between the Denver Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs may have just secured the MVP for Nikola Jokic. Allow me to explain. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BoxInOne here, a podcast created by roischand and myself, Joachim Powell. We are the co-founders of BoxInOne. Crazy matchup on Saturday at the time of recording this video, April 4th, between the Denver Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs. The Denver Nuggets being at home hosting San Antonio. It was a war between Titans in the Western Conference. The Denver Nuggets being the 4th seed, currently the San Antonio Spurs being the 2nd seed. A lot of crazy things to talk about. I mean, it seemed like the San Antonio Spurs were in control for a majority of this game. You were getting great play from Wemby, great play from Vassell. Castle and Harper were doing their thing. De'Aaron Fox was opening the floor up. But it's the talk about experience with the San Antonio Spurs. That is a continuous conversation, and the lack of experience showed. But first off, I want to talk about the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are still the best duo in the NBA when healthy and when locked in. I feel like it's kind of been a question with the Denver Nuggets. What really are they fully healthy? It's like how Victor Wembanyama was the idea. It's like a healthy Denver Nuggets are also an idea, right? Because you had Peyton Watson getting injured. You had Aaron Gordon getting injured. Cameron Johnson, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. There was a point where 4 of their 5 starters were injured. 7 of their guys were on the IR, right? So it's been times in this season where the Nuggets definitely were not 100%. And one could argue that is why a team like Denver, with the talent they have, is at the 4th seed currently. Still nothing to scoff at. But Denver, they made some great adjustments against this San Antonio Spurs team. Throwing Aaron Gordon on Victor Wembanyama, the thing that Victor Wembanyama has struggled with this entire season, Dylan Brooks did it, I think, with Goodwin when it was a really early game too, but when the San Antonio Spurs played the Phoenix Suns, what the Spurs struggled to get Wemby going on offense, or what happened that caused Wemby to struggle to get going on offense, was that the Suns would force Wemby to play outside of the post and make him shot create in the perimeter. Wemby does have that Kevin Durant-like jumper, but his ball handling is not crafty enough to make up for the physicality that these wings, these beefier wings, can really provide for Wemby. So Brooks was giving Wembanyama problems. Aaron Gordon, same thing. Wembanyama was struggling to create on Aaron Gordon because he doesn't just have the physicality to blow right by him, and he also doesn't have the dribble back at this stage to completely get to his shot. He doesn't have a kill shot like KD. KD, pull up, cross jumper, bang. Most of the time that's going to go. Obviously, KD a little bit slower now. He got blocked by Gobert a couple weeks ago against the Wolves doing that shot. But for the most part, that's Durant's kill move. It's just a pull up from who knows where. Durant has so many kill moves in his perimeter back that Wemby doesn't have. So when you take away the bump fade shoulder, I'm just going to drive to the post, then it's like, what does Wemby have in the open space against these bigger wings? Still, so far, doesn't have a lot to do. I think it's also interesting looking at the San Antonio Spurs in the clutch. Just some silly mistakes, some missed opportunities. Julian Champagnie and Devin Vassell were missing shots. They were also hitting shots in the clutch, but they missed some shots. De'Aaron Fox, he missed the pull-up jumper that would have tied the game. I think one thing that's really interesting to me, though, is that I feel like even though De'Aaron Fox right now is a much better player than Dylan Harper, and much better as a stretch, but in terms of experience and being that veteran leader on the floor and a floor general, I'm taking De'Aaron Fox over Dylan Harper. I feel like Dylan Harper is a better option against these bigger, lengthier teams, right? I'm thinking about a couple possessions in the clutch where De'Aaron Fox was struggling to get buckets on Jokic, struggling to get buckets on Gordon, because he's shifty, he's fast, he's elusive, he's a heck of a creator, but he's not physically imposing. I just think Dylan Harper is a more physically imposing guy that when you need someone to go downhill in the clutch, Dylan Harper is your guy to do that and either get to the line, get an and one, or get 2 points on the board. So I feel like in the playoffs, they're going to have to play with the idea of running Castle and Harper in the clutch instead of Fox and Castle, because I do really think Dylan Harper, understanding the timing with Wemby and the PNR, he's getting the lobs down. I think Harper really could do something crazy for the Spurs team in the playoffs. And I do personally think in some of those possessions that De'Aaron Fox had to score that he came up empty, Dylan Harper would have scored. I think the biggest thing, though, for the Spurs is just clean up the mistakes. They clearly have the size. Keldon Johnson also missed some shots. Even though it's late in the season and he's probably not going to get the minutes during the playoffs, I do still believe in Project Carter Bryant, and I do think that he's somebody that could, again, give the Spurs another layer on defense when the Nuggets do have guys like Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon out there. But now to the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic is doing things we have never seen before in the NBA. I think Russell Westbrook has desensitized us to triple doubles. I was talking about this off camera with Rois. When you look at what Russ was doing from like 2016 really to his tenure on the Wizards in 2021, Russ was doing a lot of crazy things, breaking the triple doubles record, averaging a triple double in the season, getting MVP. As a guard, he was doing all of these things. But when we look at Nikola Jokic, he's essentially averaging 28, 14, and 11, a center leading the league in assists and being top 5 in rebounds while shooting about 55, 39, 70 from the field. As a center, he's flirting with 50-40 splits from 3 and from the field. And if his free throw percentage was better, he would be in that 50-40-90 conversation. This is not normal stuff. And Nikola Jokic, he made so many good adjustments defensively and offensively to Victor Wembanyama, working with the fade more, taking his time with the shots more, running the offense in the second half. And I think it was a stat that Van Gundy said on the air, the Nuggets were getting outscored 24-12 when Jokic was off the floor. And when we talk about an MVP and we talk about a floor raiser and we talk about a guy who can really make a team great. Now, unfortunately, Luka's injured, and we're going to talk about that in a different video. But when we talk about guys who make their team better, I don't know what the Nuggets are without Nikola Jokic, right? When we look at the San Antonio Spurs, this is a Spurs team that actually beat a healthier Nuggets without Victor Wembanyama earlier in the season because of a 35-point game from Devin Vassell. When I look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Thunder are a team that have beaten teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers without having Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm not saying that those guys also don't make their teams way better, but Jokic literally was the reason. And as soon as he checked back in that fourth, the Nuggets unlocked a different type of layer on offense. He's a cheat code. He's a big that can rebound and outlet pass and run a fast break and shoot from 3 and be a pick and roll threat and be a lob threat and make the right passes to cutters when he's doubled or tripled and do things everywhere on the court. He's absolutely insane, and I don't think people really realize what we're watching. Want to shout out Aaron Gordon as well for this win today. I mean, again, taking that Wemby matchup head on. It looked like he got injured a little bit, but then he came back in the game and locked in, taking that Wemby matchup head on again. I think Dylan Brooks and Goodwin for the Suns kind of exposed it a little bit. But when you force Wemby to post up from like 18, 20 feet out and he doesn't have a kill move, it's a little bit harder to get going. And Wemby still had 34, 17, and 7 tonight, so no doubt he was hooping. But Jokic had 48 and 13. And Jokic, when it mattered against another MVP candidate, dropped the hammer and came away with the win. Incredible stuff from Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets tonight. With that being said, though, guys, that is going to do it for us today. As always, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, the Threads, all of the socials for daily hoops content in the description. And again, as always, appreciate y'all tuning into another video for BoxInOne, a podcast created by Roischand and Joachim Powell. And I will see you all in the next one.